Hello, everyone. Thanks of all of you for jumping on at the top of the hour here. Really excited to jump in today. We're going to give folks just a few more minutes to join, but as you're joining, if you have any questions, you should see the question section there. Please drop them in, and if anyone wouldn't mind just letting us know that you can hear us and see our screen in the question section, just to make sure everything's working, that would be great. Awesome. Thank you, David. Thank you, Sarah. Appreciate it. Hopefully you're able to see the screen as well. All right. So it looks like more folks are joining. So again, thanks to everyone for being on time and jumping on the webinar. We're going to give folks just a couple more minutes here before we get started, but thanks again. All right, people are continuing to trickle in. If you're just joining, thanks so much for taking the time today. We're super excited to walk through this with you all. As more folks are coming on, we're just going to give folks a couple more minutes here, maybe start around 10:03. So thanks for your patience, yeah, just hang tight. We'll get started shortly. All right, looks like we still have a few more folks trickling in here. If you're just joining, welcome. We're gonna get started in about 1 minute. Definitely want to respect the folks' time who jumped on at the top of the hour, so we'll get going here soon, but just 1 more minute. And if you have any questions as we go, just a reminder, everyone here, please drop those questions into that question section. We'll try to answer them along the way, but if not, we'll definitely put aside some time to answer questions. So if you have questions, drop them in there. We'll get to you, but we're really excited to introduce AudioGo to you and kind of walk you through the tool. All right. Well, again, out of respect for everyone's time, we'll go ahead and get started. So we'll jump in here. Thanks everyone for joining. I think a few folks are still jumping in. My name's Ian. I'm the head of customer success here with AudioGo. And I'm also joined by our VP, Chris Bolte, who's here with us as well, who will kind of kick things off for us. So if everything sounds good, Chris, we can go ahead and get started.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for taking the time out of your busy day, I'm sure, to join us and learn a little bit about AudioGo. We're super excited to introduce AudioGo to you. AudioGo is SiriusXM's media's online ad management platform, and it's really built to give you the power to develop and manage your own audio ad campaigns very easily. And today, Ian is going to take you through how the platform works and show you how you can use it easily to quickly and easily build your own ad campaigns. So the first thing, I just kind of taking a step back, I wanted to at least tell you who are we. And AudioGo is part of the SXM family. It's been around for quite a few years now, about five or 6 years. And it's built on the AdsWiz technology stack, which is AdsWiz is SiriusXM's ad technology and innovation division. And it sits on top of the AdsWiz marketplace, which has access over to 160 million unique US listeners, including all kinds of premium partners, obviously all their SiriusXM owned and operated sites like Pandora, SiriusXM Podcasts, as well as hundreds of others, and some of which Ian will talk about as we go through, but it has extensive reach and incredible technology via AdsWiz. And when you think about AudioGo, really AudioGo is just another way that you can transact with SiriusXM. So whether it be via direct insertion order, or whether it be via programmatic, or now you can actually build and manage your own campaigns with this new online ad platform. And so our goal broadly is to meet you where you are and support your media strategy in the way that works best for your business and for your clients.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chris. Appreciate the introduction there. Like Chris said, we'll dive deeper into the actual AudioGo platform itself. Today is all focused on AudioGo. So we'll start with, what is AudioGo? So like Chris mentioned, AudioGo is an online audio ad managing platform. It gives you all the control at your fingertips, everything that you need to run a successful campaign, which includes real-time media planning and reporting in the dashboard. You have access to real-life support. You can just chat directly to a representative through our app, or send us an email. And we also have the option for a managed service, so we can really help you in any capacity. And the big things to note with AudioGo: budget flexibility. You could spend basically whatever you need on AudioGo. You can get started for as little as $250, and then anything beyond that you'd like to run, we can accommodate that. And a big part of that is because we have the largest ad-based network in the US. And we also have, we're available in Canada. So over 165 million monthly ad-based listeners on the platform, which is actually 3 times the size of Spotify's network. So we have really great reach across basically any market in the US and Canada. We have over 1,000 targeting options available at your fingertips. That includes things like age, location, gender, device type, different behavioral segments, genre, podcast categories. So a variety of targeting options that we'll look through when we do the platform demo directly. We have great ways to track engagement. So not only can we track clicks, we also have display retargeting built into the platform, which can really boost the number of clicks. And you can track all that. We have different pixels, so you can kind of track that customer journey along the way. And we have everything you need, including audio ad production. So you can either get a $10 professional studio recorded ad. We deliver those in 24 hours. Or we have a free AI generated, what we call synthetic voice option. So you can create ads in a matter of seconds and launch. So it really is as easy as, set up your campaign goals, select your target audience, set your budget, your schedule, upload your audio creative, and then hit schedule, and that's it. So really easy to get set up and get started. So a little bit more about AudioGo, our network. So like I mentioned, we have the largest ad-based network in the US, over 165 million monthly listeners. We have over 3,000 online radio stations. So a lot of times if you're looking at a local radio station that you might want to work with, there's a good chance that we cover that in our network. On the podcast side, 1 in 2 listeners across the US can be reached on our platform. And we have over 2,500 podcasts with a good amount of the top 50 podcasts in our network as well. So you can see some of those examples on the right here. Of course, when we think about audio advertising, we probably think about streaming music, platforms like Pandora, SoundCloud, Sonos. On the podcast side, we have SiriusXM Podcasts, the New York Times, Barstool Sports, the Caller Daddy Network, variety of different of the leading podcast shows. But it also runs on online radio with places like TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Cumulus, Cox Media Group. We also run on CTV, video, and gaming inventory as well. These are audio ads, but they do run in those mediums through groups like Audio, Consumable, Dailymotion. And we also have 3 of the largest Spanish audio publishers as well, Univision, Entravision, and SBS. So really, kind of any use case you're looking for, we really can help you reach those listeners just based on the size of our network alone. So like we mentioned here, #1 in the US. These are highlighting some of the major metro markets that we are #1 in, and that really expands to rural areas as well. So we really are that leader, which really as an advertiser gives you that reach, gives you the ability to reach all the right listeners in that right target audience that you're looking for. In terms of targeting, we have a variety of different options available. Like we called out earlier, over 1,000 targeting options. You'll see what we have available for podcasts versus streaming, very similar, but some slightly different capabilities there. So for audience targeting, demographic, age and gender, geographic, city, county, state, DMA, and zip code, any combination of those that you'd like. So we can really work with you to make sure we reach that right geographic area. On the streaming side, we have behavioral segments. So these are things like homeowners, income levels, they're in the market for an Audi, you name it, we likely have a segment for that. On the podcast side, similar idea, we have our predictive audiences, again, very similar to those behavioral segments. We also have contextual targeting. So you can target by language, English or Spanish. So you can run ads in the Spanish language and reach Spanish speakers. We also have music genre on the streaming side, as well as podcast categories. Think of things like true crime, news, business, politics, right? You can target by day and time as well. So if, let's say, you want to reach people during peak drive times, you have that control in our platform. Also inventory-based targeting. So we can target by device type on both podcasts and streaming. So phones, tablets, connected car, smart devices, can really narrow things down. And then on the podcast side, we do allow for you to select the ad position. So if you want to run before, during, or after the podcast show, as well as make sure that podcast conversations go a lot of different directions. If one of your clients, or if you have a certain sensitivity, certain subject matter, you can kind of deselect that content to make sure you don't run there. So a ton of control to make sure that you reach the right target audience and that your message is heard on the right medium. So now that we kind of looked at what AudioGo is in a nutshell, why use AudioGo? It really comes down to the fact that it's really easy to get started, very flexible. You can do a lot of testing with us here, super easy to use. It's affordable, but at the same time, and while it's a simple UI, there is some complexity in the background that really helps the ads be delivered to the right listeners and ensure that you have a successful campaign. So some interesting call outs as well on the left. On average, just in case you aren't sure about, hey, should we include audio in our marketing mix? Users are spending a ton of time with the medium, on average 4.5 hours every day, right? If you think about the morning you wake up, maybe you're listening to some news, listening to some music while you're getting ready, a podcast on the way to work, right? It really is all around us at this point. And the ads are effective. About 60% of listeners respond or make a purchase after hearing a podcast ad, and 50% better recall than screened media, right? If you think about things like the McDonald's jingle or Subway's $5 footlong, right? We can instantly hear that. And that really is a testament to the power of audio and why it has that high recall. So it's great for really campaigns of all sizes, local or regional campaigns. You can turn things around very, very quickly. It's a great platform to do some testing for clients or for yourself. You can pause at any time, get live insights into how the campaign's performing and optimize the campaign as you go, ramp up spend, ramp down spend with no commitments. So a great way to test out the medium. It really helps add to your multi-channel marketing, right? It's just another channel that users are in for a lot of hours during the day. So you're also going to see very likely an increase in those other mediums that you're doing in terms of effectiveness when audio is running. And again, we just made it really, really simple. As long as you have a script or an audio ad ready to go, we have everything else ready for you. So kind of who uses AudioGo today? I mean, the short answer here is basically anybody. Anyone that has a business or project that they want to promote, AudioGo is a great platform for that. We work with a lot of media buyers, small to medium-sized agencies, regional businesses, franchises, local shops, and basically everything in between here. So we have thousands of different customers on the platform, but these are some of the industries that we're highlighting that we kind of see often, and we have a lot of great customers in these industries that continue to use the platform month over month. It's great for folks like entertainment promoters, promoting a live event or a concert, healthcare advertising, if you want to reach new patients, or if you want to do a PSA, anything around urgent clinics, things like that. Higher education as well, help with new student enrollment and recruitment efforts for the different seasons. Home services as well, whether it's a contractor, plumber, HVAC, electrician, roofing. We have a ton of great targeting options related to those segments. Financial services as well, for credit unions, banks, insurance. Any brick and mortar location, this can also help grow footfall by getting that exposure in your local area. as well for staffing and hiring. It's a great way to get the word out and get new recruits for that open position. And then lastly, nonprofits as well, PSAs in support of any cause in your area. These are all some great use cases. I'd add to this list automotive, car dealerships. It's also a great way to reach out to potential car buyers as well. So a lot of different use cases for the platform, and absolutely not limited to what you're seeing here. A couple other quick things to point out. As an agency, if you're a media buyer or an agency, we do have our AudioGo Agency Program. We have a ton of agencies in there today taking advantage of these great perks and these great benefits. It's free to join, and if you have questions about it, we'd love to connect with you on it. But you'll get early access to new features and beta releases. You'll get in-depth trainings for you and your team if you want to train up your sales team on how this works. Exclusive discounts and offers as well. As an agency, we can do co-op marketing opportunities. You can get some ad credits and coupons for clients to test out the platform, and you can use invoice billing rather than card. So a lot of different incentives there, as well as recognition. So you'll get our partner badges that you can see on the left, and we'll also showcase you in our agency directory. So we have thousands of local businesses that come to us and say, hey, I want to run a campaign. I'd love to work with a professional. And that's where we'd love to connect them with someone like yourselves as an agency. So we definitely have some agency specific features, but the platform works great for any and all clients who want to promote their business or project. So with that, we'll go ahead and jump directly into the platform. The great thing about the AudioGo platform is it has everything that you need here. Basically everything that we looked at in those slides is available on the platform. So definitely take a look at these. You'll see these options at the top. If you need some help on just generally how it works, our pricing, our creative services. If you want to look at our total publisher network and see what's available on streaming, what shows and podcast platforms are available on the podcast side. If you want to kind of compare AudioGo to traditional radio or other platforms like Spotify, we have some great information in here. So all this information, absolutely recommend taking a look and checking it out. Some great ad solution information here around conversion tracking, reporting, targeting, and our display retargeting. Those different customer industries that we looked at, we have some great examples in here on these pages. Specifically, there's great testimonials, a ton of great example ads, targeting recommendations. And if you don't see anything in there, please reach out to us. We're happy to help you and set you up for success. And then lastly, some additional resources here. So if you ever have questions or you want to look up some different terminology, you can build UTM links here. If you want to see some example ads that we've created before, we also have a variety of case studies on our blog. And then lastly, that agency directory that I was talking about. So as an agency, you'll be showcased in our directory here. Folks can find you, look for different services that you offer, and then they'll be able to interact with you here. So a ton of great resources on the site itself. Next, we'll jump directly into the platform. So once you get logged into AudioGo, and by the way, it's free to make an account. So I highly encourage you, if you haven't yet, jump in, create an account, take a look at it, reach out to our team. We'll be happy to help you out. But once you get logged into the platform, it'll take you to your main dashboard. So this is a great way to kind of get a quick snapshot of everything that's going on with your campaigns. You'll see these kind of high-level metrics here, the publishers on where your campaigns are running. In the top of your dashboard, you have a few different options here. So campaigns, that's going to give you your campaign dashboard, which is going to break out all the campaigns that you're running or completed or drafts, so you can manage your campaign super easily. We also have some advanced reporting options to kind of customize reports that we'll take a look at in a moment. If you're an agency with us and you want to have a different view per client on the dashboard, you can absolutely do that with this advertisers tab. Makes it really easy to manage your clients on AudioGo. You can set up separate billing. You can give read-only access to clients if you'd like. You can give access to different members of your team. So it really makes it easy to manage your dashboard by client. And if you're looking for some inspiration and want to see some example ads that we've produced to get an idea of, hey, what should I run for this client or what should I run for myself? We have hundreds of example ads in this ad inspiration page. So everything you need is kind of at your fingertips there. When you click on campaigns, it'll take you to this dashboard here. We'll jump back to the reporting This is an example of a campaign and the reporting that's available. But really what's most important is this Create New Campaign tab. This is going to have everything you need from the media planning aspect of it, building out your campaign, and all your targeting. So if you click Create New Campaign, it'll take you here. Now, a couple things to point out first. As an agency, this is where you'd select which advertiser the campaign's for. This is your campaign name, just for your record keeping. And then from there, you start setting up the campaign. So you choose how long the campaign runs with AudioGo. You can run up to 6 months at a time, and a lot of flexibility with that. As I mentioned before as well, we do have hourly scheduling and day parting available on the platform. So a great use case is reaching those folks at peak drive times. You just make those selections here. Next, you'll need to choose the campaign type. So it is broken out by streaming or podcast. Again, because there's some slight different in terms of capabilities, we've broken it out, but we'll walk through both of those today. And the big thing to keep in mind while we're going through the dashboard is everything's dynamic. So you'll see this information change on the right here. These are some estimates based off what we have selected for the campaign, but keep an eye on that as you go, because everything's live, everything's dynamic, which really makes it easy to understand what's available in certain markets, as well as make sure your campaign's set up for success. So I've selected streaming here. We'll start there. Once you select streaming, the next thing that'll pop up are the campaign goals. So this really goes back to, and as you can see, we have a very simple UI with AudioGo. We really strive to keep that as easy as possible, but we also want to empower you, with some more advanced controls. And behind the scenes is really where there's some complexity to the platform, but the campaign goals are a great example of that. So brand awareness, that's going to prioritize frequency. We usually want listeners to hear the ads at least a few different times, but really depends on the use case. So that's why brand awareness is kind of that first goal. If you're running, let's say, a PSA, or you really want to prioritize reaching as many unique listeners as possible, brand reach would be a great goal for that. If website traffic is the aim, we want to send listeners to a certain URL. This is a great goal for that. This is going to prioritize delivery where listeners can tap or click on banner images to learn more, as well as conversions. So I did mention we do have pixels, which I'll point out in a moment here as well. We have a free pixel that you can use on our side, or if you work with a third-party impression tracking tool or pixel, you can upload those as well. So you can really track everything that happens with your campaign, whether they're clicking on banners or visiting that URL. We're able to track that, which really helps understand the impact of your campaign. So those are the different campaign goals. The next section is all about your creative assets, so both audio and display. So if you have a 30-second audio ad that you want to use, no problem. You click upload it here. It'll be ready to go. If you don't have an ad on hand, no problem at all. Like I mentioned, we do have a couple of different options here as well. So let's see. Make sure that that's pulling up. Okay. So yeah, we have two different options here. I think it might just be a pop-up window, but we'll come back to that. I'll try to show you the different options, but really it's super easy. $10 for the professional studio recorded ad, or free for the synthetic voice ad. Both options, all you need are a script. So you just drop in a script, and then you'll choose the different options from the voice talent that you can utilize. On the synthetic options, you'll be able to preview those voices, and they sound really good. In fact, a good majority of those are becoming indistinguishable from a professional, human read ad. They sound great. But you just drop in your script, choose the voice actor, and then choose the background music that you'd like to include, and then that's it. That's all the information that we need. Whether that's the synthetic ad, you'll get it in a matter of seconds, or the produced ad, we'll get it back to you usually within 24 hours. And you do have the option to revise the ads if needed. So we really have everything that you need to run a successful campaign. Once you've done the audio creative, next are the banners. So I did mention the display retargeting. So that's built into the platform. We highly recommend it. It usually see about 4 times as many clicks when this is enabled. We all know, even though this is audio, clicks are an important KPI. So this is a great way to drive clicks and drive activity. So that's just will be enabled here. And that's going to set aside 20% of your budget for the retargeting. So you don't have to calculate anything. That's all automated. Next are the banners. So you can upload banners here. We have 3 different sizes that we accept. We recommend including all 3. I'd put an example banner in here. Once you upload your banner, these are going to be used for the companion banners, so while the audio ad's playing, as well as the display retargeting. So 1 set of banners is all you need. Once the banners are in there, you'll set up the destination URL. So that's the URL where we want listeners to go when they tap or click on that banner. You can use UTM tracking links in here to link it up with your analytics as well. Like I mentioned as well, that option for the third-party tracking, we have that for the banners as well as the audio ad. So once you upload an audio ad, you'll see that option there as well. So that's that creative section. And then lastly, and most important really, are our different targeting options. So there's a ton of options in here. As I kind of mentioned, the kind of 3 high-level options: location, gender, and age group. For location, if you have a list of zip codes that you want to use, you can just bulk upload them here, or you can enter in anything you'd like. So just for example's sake here, I'll enter in New York. And as you can see, once you make those selections, once you start ticking off some boxes here, on the right-hand side, we call it our audience guide. That's going to update. So that's really going to help you understand what you can expect from the campaign, and really helps you optimize the campaign. So you'll see the number of ads that we estimate that we're going to deliver out of the total available ads available, estimated unique listeners that we'll reach, and then below you'll see that frequency per listener. So like I said, our system is, depending on your campaign goals, is going to nudge you towards the optimal setup. And for frequency, we want to see at least around a 3 frequency. Again, we're here to help you with that. But as you can see, it makes it super easy to just make selections, uncheck boxes, and add different segments here to really make sure that you're reaching the right listeners. Going back to the targeting, we also have device type targeting. So you can target listeners on their phones, tablets, desktop, gaming, smart speakers, smart TVs, connected vehicle devices. So a lot of different use cases here, and you just make the selections that you'd like to target. And then down below, these are behavioral audiences. So this is where we can really narrow things down. Like I mentioned, there's hundreds of options on both the podcast and the streaming side for these. These are things like, are they decision makers? Are they at certain income levels? Are they in market for certain make and model of cars, for insurance, continuing education, financial planning, you name it, we have a segment for what you're looking for. So if you're not seeing something in there, please let us know. One of our specialists will be able to help you make sure your campaign's set up for success. Lastly, on the streaming side, we also have genre targeting. So you can target, we have 23 kind of core music genres in here that you can target as well. So that's the targeting, particularly for streaming. I'm going to jump over to the podcast side, but quickly before I do that, we were talking about the pixels and conversion tracking before. So we allow up to 5 pixels per advertiser. So you can have 5 different pixels set. It's a great way to kind of track that customer journey, right? Maybe you have one on the initial home page or the landing page, maybe a product information page, and then a checkout page. It really helps you track that activity. You'll be able to get all that with our reporting, and it's free to use. So highly recommended if you kind of have the capabilities and are able to do so. So that's the pixel. Like I said, I'm going to jump back over to podcasts just so we can get an idea of what that looks like. And the big thing to note with podcasts, we've actually, our SiriusXM has done some research, and there's not as much overlap as you think with streaming and podcast listeners. So we also recommend including podcasts with your plans. You do have to create a separate campaign, but we can help you through every step of the way. It's really easy. But this is really going to help you get that incremental reach. So you can kind of tack this on to what you're doing with streaming, reach more of those listeners in that right target audience who are maybe spending more time listening to a slightly different medium. So we highly recommend it. Really helps with that reach. So once you select podcast, you'll still see the same campaign goals. The creative section will look the same as well. And then down below, there's a few different options for targeting. So still those kind of same 3 high-level options: location, gender, age group, and then as well as device type. And then a couple added controls here. So we have brand suitability. Like I said, this is if you have a, want to kind of avoid certain subject matter. For the most part, the content on AudioGo is, brand safe, but podcast conversations can go in different directions. So if you have that, you can go ahead and click in here and limit your exposure to certain topics. We also have ad position. So before, during, or after the show, if you want your ad to run at a certain time, you can do that with us here on the podcast side. Very similar idea to our behavioral segments are our predictive audiences. So there's, again, hundreds of options in here. You can see some examples there. Same idea, you search for what you're looking for and then find that option. And then the last thing on podcasts is you can target by podcast category. So that's under the spoken word section here. So we have things like business related podcasts, comedy, health, kids and family, news, true crime, science, sports. We have a ton of great sports podcasts in the network. So a lot of options in here to reach the right listeners who are listening to that subject matter. As well as the pixels also available on the podcast side. So that's all the different targeting options. The very last thing at the bottom here is your budget. So this is where you select your budget, how much you'd like to spend. As mentioned, you could really effectively spend whatever you'd like with us today. The only requirement we have is a $250 campaign minimum, but really you can start and stop the campaigns at any time. The last thing I'll note as well, if you're an agency and you want to include your margin or your uplift directly into the reporting, you could do that here. So you would just enter whatever percentages in that you'd like to have as your margin, and you could do this at the campaign level, at the advertiser level, or just at the agency level as a whole, and that's going to be set aside. So in the reporting, it'll show the total number of, the total budget, including your margin, but we're going to take 10% off of that so that it runs the other 90% in audio. So then all your reporting is going to show that total amount, makes it really easy to reconcile billing with your clients and have all that reporting look really clean and simple. So definitely something to utilize if you're an agency. So from there, I know we stopped at every step of the way, but as you can see, as long as you have the script or your audio ad ready to go and those banners, everything else takes a couple of minutes to get set up. So it's pretty quick, it's pretty easy. And from there, you can always save the campaign draft and come back to it later. Or if you're ready to go, you just hit schedule. Everything goes through a quick quality check on our side, and then the campaign goes live same day or at the scheduled start date. So you can get a campaign up and running same day with AudioGo. So really quick and easy, no back and forth. Everything's at your fingertips here. So that's setting up a campaign. The next thing I want to point out is the reporting. So here's an example of what the reporting would look like. If you had campaigns running, you'd be able to see the running campaigns live. This main dashboard updates every 20 or 30 minutes, so basically in real time. And then you can always filter by the different campaign statuses if you want to look at running campaigns, your scheduled campaigns, your completed campaigns, your drafts, anything like that. So really easy to manage. And as an agency, you could also filter it by advertiser here. So if you have different advertisers, you can select which advertiser you want to see it for, and then you'll only see the dashboard for that advertiser. That also works well for franchises or multi-location businesses if you want to track that as well. So this is the high-level view in the dashboard. You'll be able to see how much budget spent out of the total, how many impressions we've delivered, unique listeners reached, listen-through rate, clicks, click-through rate, and your eCPM on the right. We have a dynamic CPM with AudioGo, which effectively means we're still getting all that great premium inventory, but we're getting it at the most affordable cost that we can for you as an advertiser. So that's what you'll see at the high level view. If you actually click into the campaign itself, you'll get our campaign report. So a couple things to point out here. This is a great way to share reporting with clients. You can always download the report. It's also a great way to quickly preview which ads you have running. If you want to duplicate the campaign, if you, hey, everything went well, it was successful, we want to run it again, click duplicate. That'll have everything in there that you had in the previous campaign. And if it's completed, you could view the campaign results. If it's running, or the campaign setup, if it's running, you're actually able to edit the campaign on the fly. So this is something that you can let the campaign run for a couple weeks, go back in, take a look at it, see how it's performing, and then make adjustments as needed. So really, you can kind of optimize as you go. This report is going to show the high-level metrics at the top here: impressions, listeners reached, clicks, listen through rate, and spend. On the impression side as well, you'll get an idea of where your ad was most played on and kind of who heard your ad the most. That also helps kind of optimizing for engagement for future campaigns. And then down below here, you'll get some insight breakdowns. So it'll automatically on the streaming side show you which publishers your ads ran on. So you'll be able to see kind of where your ads are going. And then on the right here, you're actually able to edit this. So you can look at this by city. You can look at it by zip code, by age range, by device type. If you choose those behavioral segments, you'll have an option to get a breakdown of that. So you really can get a good read on kind of who's engaged with the ad, where are your ads being most delivered to, which will help you optimize your future and current campaigns. So super easy to set that up. And you can always download this as well and export it off the dashboard. So that's the campaign reporting. The last thing I want to point out here is our custom reports. So if you want to kind of go a step deeper, we do allow you to create custom reports. And the great thing about this is you could set up a recurring report. You could set up a report once and then have it recurring throughout the year. So any campaigns that you're running, you'll just get a CSV file emailed to you on a regular basis, weekly, daily, monthly basis, whatever cadence you'd like. But you can also use this to view historical data as well with the one-time report. So this will allow you to go up to a year in the past, and you can go ahead and see any campaign activity and get those CSV files. This is also really helpful if you work with a third-party reporting platform. You can have these emailed directly to the platform and ingested. And in fact, next month, we're going to have a reporting API that'll allow you to kind of connect with this directly. So whether that's yourself or the third-party tool, you can do that. And by the way, if you are an agency and you're using a third-party reporting platform, please drop it in the questions section. We'd love to hear who you're working with so we can integrate with those partners to make sure you get the reporting as seamlessly as possible. But going back to this, when you set up the campaign, the report, you'll select which campaigns it's for. You can select all eligible in future. The reporting template, so you have three options here: a report with spend, a report without spend, and if you're using that agency margin, you can include that in the report as well. Once you make that selection, these are all the metrics that you're going to get. So you're going to get all of the key KPIs here. But then if you wanted to take things a step further, we do have the option to adjust it by dimension. So a great example of this is maybe you want to see clicks across certain zip codes. You'd put that dimension in here, and that's going to filter all this data by the different zip codes that you selected for targeting. So it really allows you to customize the reporting in different ways, depending on what you're looking to see. Next, you would just select the schedule interval, so how long you want the report to run. Like I mentioned, you'll choose that cadence, so daily, weekly, or monthly, and you'll get that information delivered to whatever email address or email addresses you input in here. So for the most part, our dashboard has all the reporting that you'll need, but in case you want to take things a step further or want to get an automated report emailed to you on a regular basis, we do have that functionality in the platform here with the custom reports. All right. So that's kind of it. The last thing I'll point out real quickly here, that advertiser section as an agency makes it really easy to manage everything here. You click add new advertiser, enter in the name or some information that some type of identifier, the website, the industry that they're in, and then here's where you'll also be able to build out the pixels. So you can create pixels for different events here as well, different event types, and you can have that specific for each advertiser. Once you create that advertiser view, you can add team members to that, you can add the client to that, and like I said, you'll be able to filter your dashboard by advertiser. So that's kind of the platform in a nutshell. So like I said, we really are focused on making it as user-friendly as possible, as easy to use, but still giving you that functionality and reach that you're looking for as an advertiser to make sure that you reach the right target audience in the right market. So from here, we'll pop back over to the slide deck here, and we'll kind of round things out. Looks like we have a good amount of questions, so we'll jump into those in just a second. But yeah, if you have questions, please drop them in. We really appreciate you taking the time here. And since you joined the session, like I did mention earlier, we do offer some ad credit here. So we'd love for you to, whether it's you're new to the platform, if you're an existing user of the platform, here's $250 for taking the time out of your day. Just use code SXMWeb25, and that'll give you the $250. And again, we're going to go ahead and send out a follow-up email with the code as well. So no worries if you don't see it here, but yeah, you'll get that information delivered to you, and we'd love for you to use that towards your next campaign. And if you haven't created an account, really easy to do, audiogo.com, free to make one. Highly recommend that you just get in there, start playing around. It's really easy to use. All right. And with that, we'll jump into some questions. Looks like we have a good amount, so I'm glad we have some time here. Is AudioGo eligible in Canada? Yes, we are eligible in Canada. We have a ton of great resources around that. We work with groups like Chorus, Stingray, Adobe, Sonos, all available in Canada. You can be billed in Canadian dollars. You can target by Canadian postal codes, and a variety of different Canada-specific options. Excuse me. So yeah, available in Canada as well as the US. Folks are asking if they will be getting a copy of this deck. Yes, absolutely. In the follow-up, we will send out this deck so that you have it on hand, as well as the recording of the webinar today. So you'll be getting that. This question is around, if you're an agency, can you target in Canada and the US, as well as if you're, the short answer there is yes. If you're in the, a US-based agency, but you have a client that operates in Canada, that's no problem. You can absolutely run campaigns in both Canada and the US, and vice versa. If you are located in Canada and you have a client or a use case where you need to run in the US, you can do that. There's no restrictions on region or anything like that. Yeah, so one question is there an option to customize placements delivery by genre? For example, if you're electronic music, you wouldn't want to waste placement on country music. Yeah, it's a great question. That for that particular use case, it really comes down to genre targeting. But I'd say that expands to other use cases. The great thing about our platform, since we have so many different targeting capabilities, you can really make sure to eliminate waste. One thing that I always kind of think about with traditional radio, right? Think of those broadcast towers. That's a one-to-many broadcast. Whoever's tuning into that station at the time for the ad is going to hear the ad, but we don't really know who's on the other end of that stream, right? It could be myself, my brother, my sister, right? The great thing about digital audio is it reduces that waste. It's really that one-to-one direct message. As long as you set up the targeting and the location and all that great information, we are only going to deliver ads to listeners within that target audience. So it really helps reduce waste, make sure you're reaching that right listener, and then on the back of that, the reporting will help you track that. So yeah, it's a good question there. What are the biggest advantages of using AudioGo versus other self-serve platforms? Yeah, it's a great question. I'd say primarily the reach. Like we called out, we are 3 times the size of Spotify's network. We have the #1 reach in the US across most major metro areas. And that's just because we aggregate different publishers. So that's a huge advantage, as well as the different targeting options. We have a ton of targeting options, more so than most of our competitors, in a variety of different segments and genres and things like that. So when you combine those two, it really helps you make sure you reach that right target audience. So I'd say those are some of the big ones. I'd say aside from that as well, the ease of use of the platform. We really, really pride ourselves and focus on making it easy to use for advertisers of all sizes, while also having that complexity for advertisers who are looking for it. So I'd say those are the main things. It really comes down to the network, our targeting options, and the ease of use, and lastly, support. We're here to support you. Even if you don't have a dedicated point of contact with us, you can always reach out to our chat. There will be a live person there to help you, or send an email and we'll get back to you. So we really also pride ourselves on supporting our clients and working with you to make sure that you're successful. All right. Yeah, this is a good question. Someone asked, like, hey, I'm an agency. when I log in, I don't see the advertisers tab. How do I get that? Yeah, we can help you out with that. We just need to update your account to an agency type account, we call it. So that's free, no cost to do that. So we'll work with you after this to do that. And if you don't hear from us, just reach out to hello@audiogo.com and request that dashboard, and we'll get it updated for you. Yeah, I'd say if you're an agency or if you're a multi-location business, maybe a franchise or a regional business, it's a great way to have that functionality in there. So just let us know if you'd like it, or even if not, if you'd like to use it for a different use case, reach out to us. We can update your account. Yeah, question around the display retargeting and how that 20% works. Yeah, so when it's enabled, it's going to take 20% of the budget and set that aside for the retargeting. So it's automatically going to be enabled with every campaign. We recommend including it. So that's just going to set that aside, and you'll be able to see that in your reporting. It'll break it out by the display retargeting spend and clicks and impressions. So you'll be able to see all that in our custom reports. But yeah, it does set aside the 20%. If you toggle it off, it'll adjust that out as well. So this is a great question. Are the selected audience targets all layered as ands or statements? Yeah, so when you set up the targeting, it's going to work as an and statement between the different options. So for example, location and age, right? Or behavioral segments and genre. Those are and statements. However, with the behavioral segments, those are set up as between themselves are or statements. So a good example is if you select high income and homeowners, users might be both of those things, but it's the way it's set up, it's either reaching people with higher income or homeowners. So that's how that's set up in the behavioral segments. It kind of really helps with reaching more listeners. But if you have a particular use case, please reach out to us at hello@AudioGo. We'll make sure that your campaign's set up for success and make sure that you're reaching the right target audience. All right, these are great questions. I see more folks dropping them in. Keep them coming. Assuming we have to be above 3 frequency and have 2 of the 3 bars showing. Oh yeah, so in the audience guide, the tool is going to do its best to help you try to get to a good frequency. And the question mentioned those different bars that you see. It'll say average or excellent or insufficient, things like that. That's really there to guide you and help you set up the campaign correctly, depending on your campaign goals. So one thing I'd say about that is really, you know your target audience the best. We can make recommendations and help you out, but ultimately, and we can provide guidance on the frequency, but ultimately it really comes down to your needs, and we can kind of back into that however you're looking to do it. And the great thing about the tool, as you saw with that audience guide, it is dynamic and it's live, so you can go in there, enter in the information you're looking for, kind of see what comes out in terms of frequency and estimated number of ads and unique listeners, and then you can adjust accordingly to make sure you're getting the right frequency you're looking for and still reaching that right audience. So yeah, we generally say about at least a 3x frequency if that's the brand awareness and frequency is a priority. But again, every use case is kind of different, and we're here to help you make sure that you set it up correctly and have a successful campaign. Another question, can you save audiences or do you have to build it out every time? Yeah, it's a good question. We're moving towards the functionality so you can kind of have things saved in a different section of the account. Today, the best way to do that is to create a campaign, and then from there you can duplicate it. So you don't have to redo the campaign draft. You can set it up once, and then you can always duplicate that campaign, make tweaks to it. So the audiences will be saved in the campaign drafts. Yeah, and some folks, they'll use like a base draft and then edit it from there and save that or schedule that. So a lot of different ways to kind of save those audiences. Thanks. I've seen some folks mention the third-party platforms they use. Yep, appreciate you dropping that in. Question around agency analytics. Yeah, one thing I'd say for the agency users on the call, we'd love your help in getting integrated with the platforms. Our API will be available in about a month. We'll follow up with you directly because different platforms have different ways that they decide on these integrations. So we'd love to work with you to make sure we're able to get that integrated for you and into the platform. So we'll follow up with you, and the agency analytics is absolutely on our list. Do you have a state data to help prioritize or guide which direction to start an ad? So I think this question is around kind of what data we have on different locations and like a starting point on kind of how to set up your targeting. What I would recommend, we do have some information on the site at those different links in terms of kind of what's available in different markets. But I would say the best way to do this, create an account, click create new campaign, and then start filling out the information. And from there, it'll tell you kind of what's available in different markets. So you can, in this case, it sounds like you're talking about different states. If you want to look at different states, you just enter those in, you'll see what's available. So you can kind of build it out with the target audience you're looking for, how long you want the campaign to run, the budget, and then just swap out the different location targeting, and that'll give you a live read on what's available in each different state. Invoicing, yes. So someone asked if that's an option. Absolutely is an option for us. So we can do invoice billing. It's usually net 30 terms. And just reach out to us at hello@AudioGo if that's of interest to you. We'll just need to work with our accounting team, but yes, absolutely available to you. So just reach out to us and we can help you go through that conversation and get that set up. Let's see. Compatible. Yeah, so more questions around the API. So for now, we recommend using those custom reports. It's pretty quick and easy to set up, and then those will be automatically emailed to you or to the reporting platform that you're using. So use that in the interim. And if for whatever reason you need a different format or things like that, reach out to hello@AudioGo. We work with a lot of different agencies with different needs and can help them out. And then, yeah, in terms of which platforms it'll be compatible with, we're working towards building that all out. So this is another great example. Reach out to us at hello@AudioGo. Let us know what platform you're using, and then we'll work towards being able to provide that information to you. Question around pricing. Yeah, so AudioGo is CPM based in terms of pricing, so cost per 1,000 impressions. The way that it works for us, it's a dynamic CPM. So our system takes care of the bidding in the background to really drive that CPM down as low as we can while still securing that premium inventory across our publishers. And that's kind of how it's set up. Generally speaking, on the streaming side, we're seeing around a $12 to $14 base CPM. Again, all really depends on the targeting, and anywhere around $15 to $17 on the podcast side. And I think the other part of the question was if there's a lift to the CPM with anything. No lift for location or zip code targeting, no lift for age or gender, device type, any of that. The only time there is a lift to the CPM are the behavioral segments, but the way it works, it's all done with thresholds. And so you can add multiple segments, and then it'll just be the cost of the whatever threshold those segments are in. So it's only one lift. It's not a lift per segment. We are a city government and would like to be billed. Yeah, I'm guessing this meant invoice billing. Yeah, like I mentioned, that is an option. So for, I think it was Christine, please email us at hello@AudioGo. We can work with you. We've worked with a variety of different city, state, county government agencies to help them with advertising. And so we're very used to that process. So just please reach out to us and we can help. Yeah, another question of the agency partner. Yeah, so this question is around how do you know if you're in the program? Reach out to us. We'll let you know you should be in the directory if you're in the program. And if you filled out that partner form and you're not seeing it, please let us know. We'll get that built as soon as we can. We'd love to have you in there. So please follow up with us on that one. All right, a couple more here. Again, thanks everyone for dropping these in and for sticking around. Talk about how targeting demographics impacts the number of impressions. Yeah. So that's the great thing about the audience guide. You go in there, fill out who you're looking to target, what your target audience is, what location, and then you'll be able to see the impact on impressions on the right. So you'll see how it impacts impressions as well as unique listeners and the frequency. So yeah, you'll be able to see all that in the dashboard while you're building out a campaign. Question around radius targeting. Yeah, it's a really good question. While we don't offer radius targeting directly in the platform, we can help you with that as well. So if you give us a zip code or an address, we can build out the radius and then help you set that up as zip codes. So we don't directly have it, but that's another great example. Reach out to us at hello@AudioGo if you have a particular campaign, and we'll work with you to build that radius and help you out. Okay, looks like just a couple more. Yeah, some questions around the banner sizes. So right now we have different banner sizes. It's all listed on the site. It sounds like this question is looking to adjust the different banners sizes that we offer. That is something we're working on. We want to make it as easy as possible to upload different banners. Yeah, that's some good feedback there. We'll take that back to the team. But for now, everything's listed out, and we can help you if you need with resizing and things like that as well. Okay. I think that was all the questions. We'll leave a couple minutes if there's any last minute questions for the folks, and really appreciate you all staying on till time. So thanks so much for that. Any other last minute questions, if you want to drop them in, please do. So we'll give that just a couple minutes, but otherwise, thank you all for taking the time. Really, really appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to email out the recording as well as the slide deck, so you have all that information. But if you haven't already, go to audiogo.com. The site has everything we talked through in the slides and more. So there's a ton of great information on there. So definitely recommend going to the website, and then reach out to our team if you have questions or if you need help with anything. All right. Looks like there's no other questions coming in. Again, thank you everyone for taking the time. I think we'll cap it off there. Really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day, and please reach out to us if you have any questions or want to get help getting started.